word for the wise, never ever use Cam Studio when you're trying to make a tutorial. This is the 4th time I'm trying to do this because it keeps crashing every time I save this thing. So I'm gonna need to make a very fast tutorial because apparently if it saves anything over a couple of minutes, it crashes. And I'm done. Okay, so I'm gonna make a tutorial on how to make the text in one of these propaganda posters look like the actual text. I feel like I've rehearsed all of this now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a new layer. Let's rename this layer to poster. And I'm gonna make a new layer, and this will just be the mask. That sounds good. So I'm gonna mask it and cover this part that says N Irish. So I'm gonna just pick a big area color here. I'm gonna make this cursor a little bit bigger, and I'm just gonna cover over this. So the way that I'm going to make the text look like the text that's actually in the poster is actually by using the text that's actually in the poster to make the text. So what I'm going to do here is I get about half of this dark and half of this light, since it looks a little funny. There's like that harsh transition. And I'm going to grab about half and half and then cover and then just paint like that. So grab half and half and paint. You're going to grab half and half, paint over and everything. That way it makes it a nice smooth transition, so it's a little bit easier to cover up the text and make it look nice. So yeah, a little bit of smoother transition there, and do the same thing up here. And do it again. Okay, so that ends up looking pretty decent. It's a little blurry, and blur is not too good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of select all this, go to Effects, Noise, Add Noise. You can see here that all the settings are already here from the last 3 times I've done this video. But so normally it's like up around here, full saturation, full coverage. So what you're gonna wanna do is lower the intensity a bit probably. Usually lower down to about here. You're going to have no color saturation. You just want to match the colors you already used, and down the coverage a bit. That way it has a little bit of a texture to it, doesn't look as blurry. It looks more like the actual background, especially if the poster's a JPEG, in which case it'll have those artifacts everywhere. So now that we have this, you can see it covers up the actual text pretty nicely. So now I have to make the actual letters. So I'm going to make the D in DS106 really quick. I have to be very quick or else this thing will kill me. Actually, 1 second. Let me save the video right here. Okay, it actually saved that time, so that's nice. So now that I'm back, I'm going to grab this O right around here. Come on. And I'm going to copy it, paste it into its own little thing. I just realized I was copying it from the wrong layer. Don't do that. So head down to the poster layer, paste it, there we go. I'm going to deselect everything, and I'm just going to clean up the background a bit. The background colors might not match up with the place that you're going to end up putting this letter, so you want to have the background be pretty much gone. If there's similar colors, it's not that big a deal, but I like to get rid of it just to make sure. I'm going to hide this cover layer here so that I can grab this I, and I'm going to paste it in here. Stretch it up a bit. Deselect. And you can see it's already on its way to becoming a D. Actually, I'm going to move over 1. Yeah, that looks better. I'm going to grab a smaller area. Do that. Lower the brush a little bit. And just paint right on over that thing there. And merge the 2 characters together. And then I'm actually gonna, you can see there's a little bit of a, it's a little weird up there. Just take those colors, merge them on over, and I'm gonna erase this area up here. And look at that, makes the letter D. Just take it all, copy it, go over here. I'm gonna add a new layer for the letters. Actually, put the mask back. Make a new layer. This will be the DS106 layer. Still selected. And I'm gonna paste. And there you go. There's the D. So that's how you make a new letter, in case there isn't one, because an Irish hero doesn't have a D in it, so I needed the D for DS106. But sometimes you'll get lucky, and you won't have to make a new letter, because the letter you need will actually be in the poster somewhere else. So I can grab this S here, grab it, put these things back, deselect so I don't see that anymore, and paste it up here. And there you go, you have this S. And you see what I mentioned earlier about the background's not always matching up. It's a little lighter around this S, so what I'm going to do is just take the eraser, get rid of that. Just go around and clear out the old background so that it matches up the background here, much nicer. And there we go, DS. So here, since I'm making the letters out of the letters that already exist, the font will actually match up pretty well. It's not perfect, but it looks a lot better than just choosing a random font, especially if it's something big and important like a DS106 hero up at the top of the poster. Now, this, as I said earlier, this isn't always perfect. Sometimes the letters will look a little funny, like this number 6 here. It looks a little weird. I had to make it out of I had to do a lot of work on this one to make it look right, but it ends up looking pretty good. See the 6 down here also ended up looking really weird. So sometimes it's not perfect, but you know, I think it looks better than just choosing a random font and going with that. Now note that if you have to make something really long, like this student does and the assignments, it's not really worth it to try to piece together all these things to make it look exactly right. So for that one, just find a font that looks good and use that. Save yourself the time so you can make the other stuff look nice. Yeah, so that's how I make the fonts in these posters look like they're actually part of the poster. Just by piecing them together from the font and the text that already exist in the poster. That way it has to match up with it since it's something that already existed on it. And that way you can make these posters look a lot more authentic than just throwing some, you know, Times New Roman up on it. And it ends up making it look really nice in my opinion. So yeah, hopefully this version saves because I am sick of making this tutorial. I've been making it for the past hour and a half. So yeah, thanks for watching.